On this adventure, we're gonna be driving the Alaskan-Canadian highway all the way to Alaska, over 3,600 miles. We're gonna see what kind of wildlife we can see. Bears, moose, bison, whatever the case may be. We're gonna try some good food, so let's get to it. All right, so we're gonna be driving through Canada to get to Alaska, specifically British Columbia. And Canada is the second largest country in the world by landmass. 3.8 million square miles. But it only has a population size of 40 million. So the wildlife density here in Canada is one of the largest in the world, especially when it comes to large animals like bison and moose. So the first territory we're gonna be passing through is British Columbia, with a population of 5.7 million. It is larger than California, Oregon, and Washington combined. 70% of British Columbia is forest. That's a lot of forest. The next territory we're going to be going through is the Yukon. It's quite the difference in population. Its population size is only 45,000. Compared to British Columbia, it's only slightly bigger than California. The Yukon is one of the least dense populated areas in all of Northern America. So when I'm talking about population density, I'm referring strictly to people. The moose population is bigger than people population at roughly 70,000. Just a little update, fill you all in on what's going on. I'm on the last stretch to get to Alaska. I've got about 1,600 miles to go, and I'm starting to have issues with this trailer. You got a wheel bearing that sits right in here, and this is not supposed to get hot, but this is getting warm on both of the passenger side, which means the wheel bearings are starting to go out. Yeah, those are cold to the touch. The other side are warm. I also had an issue with the brakes. They weren't working at all. So I got underneath with the screwdriver and adjusted them, and I've got decent brakes now. It's at least helping the truck slow down a tiny bit. The truck's operating fine, but it's not a diesel, so I'm only getting like 8 to 10 miles to the gallon. So I'm just guzzling down gas. I've got one more major city before there's nothing, just gas stations. So I've got to get there quick before all the shops close, because everything closes at 6 here in Canada, and I've got to try and buy a wheel bearing and a grease gun. My goal is to hopefully milk the wheel bearings all the way to Alaska. So I'm gonna buy a grease gun and just keep them well greased, and hopefully they survive all the way there. All right, well, we just pulled out of the mountain area, and now we're into some rolling hills. Looks like just a bunch of farm fields. Really beautiful area. Temperature's only 70 degrees, which is really nice. Trailer's holding up pretty well. We got 51 minutes and 44 miles until Walmart. So hopefully we'll make it all the way there, and hopefully we can find the part that we need. I was under the impression that the Rockies extended all the way up north straight, and it was just all mountain land, but this is pretty nice. It's a nice break in scenery. Just rolling fields. Well, we made it to Walmart. I got a little bit of supplies for the road, because I don't know what it's gonna be like out in western British Columbia. I know the stores are gonna be few and far between, so I grabbed some snacks. They're back there somewhere. And some duct tape so I can hopefully save the rest of the straps that are falling apart. Now, I've gotta find an auto parts store, which I did a Google search, and most of them are closed today. Napa is closed on Saturday. So, there's another one that's open. We're gonna cruise over there and see if they've got what we need. Okay, well, they have the parts. They have trailer bearings. I'm not sure if these are the right size, so I'm not gonna mess with putting them on right now. But they had a grease gun, which is more important. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grease up the bearings right now. And then I'm gonna hold on to these just in case something happens. If I can keep the bearings greased up, I shouldn't have an issue on the road. All right, one of the things I forgot to do, that I gotta do really quick before I leave, is we got strap problems. So the straps, you can see, they're getting worn out right here. We tried putting buckets in between them, but they're falling out. So I've got some Gorilla tape, and we're just gonna tape over all of the rough spots and hope that keeps the straps alive. Should have used chains for all of this heavy equipment, because then they wouldn't have this issue. But we're here now, and we just got to deal with it. Hopefully that'll keep the strap from breaking any further. I don't think there's going to be an issue with the strap after that. I just got to wrap up a few more spots. That one's going to break, guaranteed. Just a matter of time. But I'm out of straps. It's held down by 2, or I'd worry about it a little bit more, but it's all tied down now. Now it's time to get back on the road. That took an hour and a half fixing all that crap. Greasing up that junk, an hour and a half waste of my time. Better than picking stuff up off the side of the road though, I suppose. But let's see if we need gas, and then it's off to Fort Nelson, I think is our next stop. Yeah, we didn't gas up yet. Okay, there's a Burger King over there with gas. We'll see you over there. So it's 3 p.m. So I decided against getting food right now. I'll get it in Fort Nelson. We'll see how big that place is. I'm told it's pretty big, so hopefully they got some good food options there. We'll see you there. All right, so Fort Nelson is gonna be our next stop. It's 226 miles away from where we're at right now, roughly 3 hours and 40 minutes. Our fuel mileage range is about 240 miles. So we're gonna be cutting it a little bit close. We got an extra fuel in the back, hopefully we don't have to use it. Just chipping away at the clock, man. 1 hour at a time. I think we got a total of 26 more hours to go in this vehicle. We needed to get 10 hours done today, and so far we've got 3. So we still got a ways to go before we can get some rest. Well, we just went from flat land to this. Steep, 9% grade hills out of nowhere. And beautiful rivers. I'm gonna have to adjust the trailer brakes a little bit more because they're not giving me enough stopping power right now. So when we get to Fort Nelson, I think it is, we'll stop and get a screwdriver so we can adjust those a little bit more. But we'll make it work. We'll make do with what we got. At least some braking pressure is better than others. But man, we just went through a big canyon and this truck is struggling to get out of there. 2,222 miles traveled so far on this adventure. On these adventures, because there's been quite a few. Oh, we still got a long ways to go though. All right, well, we made it to Fort Nelson just in time. We had like 1/8 of a tank of gas left. So we're gonna gas up and get back on the road. Might try and get some dinner here. It is 7 o'clock. Right now, we are in Fort Nelson, which is right here. It appears the next gas station is 111 miles away, but it's closed. Then the next one after that is also closed, but it's 228 miles. So I'd like to make it to that one before having to fuel up. But I think we're gonna stop at North Fort Lodge just to get gas, see if it's open, because gas gets few and far between as we get into the Yukon. I might, you know what? There's a bunch of gas stations that are like 240 miles away. I'm probably gonna try and make it to those. I have extra gas that'll definitely get me through, but I think I'm gonna skip all these little tiny stations. I might regret this and just make it to that one, but we'll see. Let the adventure begin. This is a stopping point for a lot of people, and I should probably stop here, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna keep rolling. If I add that stop, start.
Turn left onto Airport Drive, then turn right onto Alaska Highway.
Ooh, that's saying 300. That lied to me about the fuel mileage.
Your route may be affected by southern Alaska wildfires.
I don't know what all that means, but that says 330 miles away. I'm not making that. I'm gonna stop and double think this one. Because 330 miles, I cannot make that. Exit, remove stop, search,
Head west on
gas station.
Toward Leard Street.
It says that one's 278 miles. That's still too far. I'd have to gas up. So we're gonna exit, remove stop. I don't know why Google Maps did that. That was totally wrong. 155 miles away. That's more like it. That's the one we're going to. Here's what I'm learning. What I already know. Don't trust Google Maps. Just don't trust it. It's not worth it. Yummy sushi restaurant. You think we should try some sushi here? I'm gonna take a break and try some sushi. Let's go see if this place is worth it.
So tonight, where are you staying?
I'm driving still.
Oh,
I'm gonna drive for another like 5-6 hours and then I'll stop. So yeah, we'll do.
Summertime.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So my eyes were definitely bigger than my stomach. Granted that this is twice the size of the one I was expecting.
Okay. Yes.
Here's one of the things I love about the US and Canada is you have restaurants like that. Like when you're in Mexico, you got Mexican restaurants, which is not bad. I love Mexican food. But when you're in the US and Canada, you have so many different cultures that are around that live here and cook good food here. It's amazing. And I do recommend this place. Yami Sushi Japanese Restaurant. You should check it out if you're passing through. So I just passed a sign that said, watch for bison on highway. Well, I haven't seen a single animal other than white-tailed deer, which has been very disappointing because white-tailed deer aren't cool in my book. Mule deer are so much better. I'm not trying to be rude, but white-tailed deer are just not impressive to me. They're like tall goats. They're just not impressive. Look, I've been looking forward to seeing something other than deer, like maybe a caribou or a moose or a bear or a bison, and I haven't seen anything, nothing. So the lady in the Japanese restaurant warned me about moose. The sign just warned me about bison. I don't think they really exist. I think they're just trying to scare me. But we'll see. I got 155 miles till my next stop. Hopefully we see something. And it is getting dark. Sunset is at 9:36, so we got an hour till dark. Supposedly this is when all the animals come out. We'll see. I'll let you guys know. All right, there's the first bison sign warning us about bison. There better be bison because I have passed like 500 moose signs with no sign of moose. There better be bison. So this is definitely the most dangerous part of the day. So I'm heading directly west into the sun. So I've got the sun hitting my eyes and setting, and also that's when most of the animals come out. So I've got to be extra careful. I know I want to see bison, and I know I want to see caribou, and all these other animals, I just don't want to see them in front of my truck. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a black bear back there. I finally saw another animal. I got to be careful because I'm on the highway. But he's right back there. Sorry, I blazed by him too quick. Couldn't get the camera turned on. No way, I saw a black bear. Yeah, that's awesome. You don't see stuff like that in Utah. I'll keep the camera a little bit closer so if I see something else, I can pull it out a little bit quicker. All right, we made it back into the mountain passes. Still no sign of any other animals except for that one lonely bear. All right, so I saw my second animal. It's a lynx. That is cool. I've never seen a lynx in the wild, ever, so that is sweet. For those of you who don't know, a lynx is just pretty much a tall bobcat. They have longer legs, and that's about it. They're a little bit bigger, but it was sweet seeing one in the wild. Second animal, other than a whitetail. I'm not counting whitetail for anything. Okay, I'm gonna stay on the road. We're just climbing up these mountains. Look at this view. Just beautiful. Supposedly there's mountain sheep in this area. I believe it because Gridlessness just said they found 10 of them where they're at, so I bet you there's a ton here in Canada. This is awesome, look at this. So I've always been curious about what it would take to hunt in Canada, because Canada has some amazing animals. So I asked Gridlessness about it, and they said if you are not a Canadian citizen, you are required to have a guide. Required to have a guide service. And it is not cheap. We're talking 110 grand to go on a sheep hunt. Ooh, there's one right there. Speaking of that, yeah! Look at that. Oh, those are caribou. There's a male. Nice. That's animal number 3. Right when I start talking about hunting here, they start showing up. That's sweet. And it's getting dark. Now's the sketchy time, but at least the sun's not in my eyes. But 110 grand to hunt sheep. Jeff and Rose's son-in-law is a hunting guide, so I was talking to him as well, and he was saying that, like, if you wanted to do a moose, it'd be like 20 grand, $20,000 to do a moose, and then about the same for an elk. So he said the best option is to do a bundle, which you can do a bundle, a moose and a caribou, or a moose and an elk, or something like that. It's still $30,000. Like, holy cow. I can't afford that. I don't know how anybody can afford that. And that's what sketches me out about hunting. Hunting is like our right? Hunting is our heritage. Our families grew up doing it, and we should be able to hunt for the rest of our lives, but it's becoming to the point where it's a rich man's sport. It's no longer going to be accessible to people who can't afford it. That's going to be the deciding factor. Even in Utah, they doubled the cost of non-resident tags. Doubled it. It's like $2,100 just for the tag. Oh, and mind you, in Canada, British Columbia, the $110,000 is just for the guide service. You still have to buy the tag, pay for airfare, pay for your lodging, all of that stuff. That's nuts. I get it. The population has grown to the point where you have to control how many animals are being shot. Gone are the days where you just go over to the counter, buy a tag, and you go out hunting. You've got to limit it somehow. But it's got to be even. Everybody should be able to access that. And I also get it. It's Canada's land, and they should be able to limit and control their populations as well. But like something like the Grand Slam, the sheep Grand Slam, that would be amazing. That's something I dream about, but it's never gonna happen. Not for that cost. But oh, my rant is over. This has been an amazing trip. Look at that beautiful sunset. Holy cow. Man, this area is just beautiful. Love it. A rabbit. All right, I'll count that. That's animal number 4. This has been an amazing road trip. Just a cow elk, but elk, that's number 5. Woo! I'm starting to have a little faith that I'm gonna see some more animals. I really wanna see a moose, and a grizzly bear would be awesome, but so far, we're at 5 animals, and a lot of them are in this just a short little distance. It's only been like 10 miles, and I've seen the elk, the rabbit, and the caribou. Amazing. Love this. This opportunity to do this kind of stuff has just been amazing. Seeing this beautiful country and doing this for work. Oh man, this is the life. Cow elk and a calf. So far, no moose though. That's crazy. Ooh, there's something up here on the left, it looks like. It's the point at night where it's hard to see ahead and see if it's actually an animal or a bush. See that on the left? Oh yeah, that's another elk. Gorgeous animals. They are all over the place up here. Holy cow. It's giving me something to keep my eyes open for. I want to see that big bull though. I wish Bailey was here. To be part of this. This is awesome. I'm glad you guys are here, but wish Bailey was too. Whole herd of elk right now. Stay on the side of the road. Well, I saw a moose. I wasn't able to capture it on film because it was just poking its head out onto the road, and I just barely saw it as I was blazing by. So I'm gonna say that's 6. But I'm still gonna hopefully see another one and show you guys. Man, I've seen a moose. We got 23 miles till we can get fuel, and we're at about a half a tank, so we're gonna fuel up and keep rolling. It is getting nighttime, and it is dangerous to drive at night, so I don't know how far we're gonna go at night. We might just stop and spend the night. We'll see. I'll let you guys know. A moose. Look at that big old cow. That's amazing. Well, that's animal number 6. Proof that I saw one. It's not a bull, it was a big old cow. But holy cow, they are big. This is so awesome. Well, I just spotted a bull moose. That's a bull. Look at that bull moose. Hey! I was pulling past these fields right here, and I just looked down in the bottom. Jake's like, look in the water. Make sure you watch the water. And so I'm like looking down there, and I see something standing out in the middle. So I pull over, and sure enough, it's a bull moose. Just out there eating. It just blows my mind how big they are. Another one right there. Big old moose. Big old cow. Oh my gosh, they are so big. Look at how big they are. Sheesh. They are coming out of the woodwork now too. This is getting scary. It's 11:10 at night. You can still see the sunset. The sunset lasts forever up here. So Jeff from Gridlessness was right again. He's like, when you start pulling through those mountains, you're gonna start seeing tons of wildlife. And sure enough, we're seeing tons of wildlife. If it wasn't so cold and snowy up here during the winter, I'd be tempted to move up here. Every time I put the camera down, I see something else. Oh, there's a big buck! Holy cow! That was a big buck! Jeez, just running into the trees. The wildlife up here is nuts. Oh, I'm having a good time. Well, apparently the gas pumps are only open between 7 a.m. and 11. And it is 11:32. So I guess that means we're staying the night here. Maybe you'll find a place to park, because I am not paying. They want $300 a night here. Not gonna happen. Well, we got about 8 hours to sleep last night. It was pretty nice. I won't say it was the best sleep I ever got. Sleeping in a truck never is. But it wasn't terrible, and I am pretty refreshed. This is such a beautiful area. But it's time to get back on the road and get moving forward. One of the hardest parts about sleeping up here, the sun never fully set the entire time. But it is 7:46, and I want to drive for like 16 hours today. Let's see what we can do. I do think bison will tend to be more active during the day versus other animals are more active at night. So hopefully we see some bison. I have found the bison. I repeat, I have found the bison. Look at them all. Man, they just chill right by the road, don't they? Look at that big old bull. Holy crap, they are huge. That one's got a collar on it. All right, the signs were finally true. Some big old bison. Seen 7 animals so far. I'm gonna keep on driving. Well, I asked to see them, and I am seeing them. They better stay out of the road, though. They're the powerhouse of the North American continent. Man. All right, so I was a little bit bored while driving, so I asked ChatGPT about some stats on this highway. And I heard some rumors about it, which seemed amazing to me, that they could construct something like this in such short time. So I had to look it up for myself. So the Alaskan Highway, or as the Canadians call it, the Alaskan Canadian Highway, is approximately 1,390 miles long. That's 2,237 kilometers. It starts in Dotson Creek, British Columbia, and goes through the Yukon all the way to Delta Junction, Alaska, where it connects to other highways that lead to Anchorage. This is the crazy part. Construction was started in March of 1942 and ended in October of 1942. It took just under 8 months to construct this entire highway. It was built by over 10,000 U.S. Army engineers, plus Canadian contractors and support teams. They built this highway in response to World War II. When the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, the U.S. realized that they were vulnerable for invasion, so they built this highway to protect Alaska from invasion. Just crazy. Okay, when we say they built this road, it wasn't the road that you see today. It was basically a gravel road, mud, crude bridges, and it was barely passable in spots. The military just needed to be able to get supplies to Alaska. Today it's fully paved, but still one of the roughest highways I've been on. You go from a nice smooth sailing road to all of a sudden there's some big old dips, but there's a lot to manage in it. Oh, that's what he called it, the Alcan Highway, Alaskan and Canadian Highway. That's what I should be calling this. All right, well, we got about a quarter tank of gas left. The gas station is a half a mile ahead, so we're gonna stop and fill on up. All right, well, we have made it to the gas stop. Not self-serve though. Lucas is filling us up, so we're gonna make it back on the road. Is that 43 liters?
It's 214. It's
Ooh, quite a bit, huh? She was thirsty. That was by far the most expensive fill up yet. $214 Canadian, so 150 American. A little pricey. Probably should have waited till I got to a bigger area to fill up, but oh well. We gotta find the next gas station really quick before we head out. Okay, we got 1,068 miles left. It's in roughly 19 hours. So, let's find another gas station. No more than 240 miles away. 255 miles. We're gonna wing it. 4 hours and 20 minutes. We got a gas station. We should be there by noon. 4 hours and 22 minutes. We'll be well under 1,000 miles left by the time we get to that gas station. We're definitely passing through this area at the wrong time of the year. The daylight in summer is 20 plus hours a day, and I am not used to that. And trying to sleep in my truck has proven to be a big mistake. It's daytime outside the entire time. It's not fun. All right, we just entered the Yukon. Not that you could tell other than the sign. It's the exact same as British Columbia so far. But yeah, we're in the Yukon. Still got quite a ways till the gas station, but I'll let you guys know. Well, we still had about 161 miles till the gas station that I wanted to go to, but I decided to stop anyways, stretch my legs, and get some fuel here. That way I'm guaranteed not to run out. Play it a little bit safer. I'm gonna gas up and get back on the road. Hoo-wee. All right, we gassed up again. Got another full tank. 812 miles left to go till Anchorage. 14 hours and 38 minutes. But we're just gonna keep fueling up every 100, 200 miles and calling it good till we get into Alaska. The roads are getting way worse right now. They're getting pretty bad. They've been hammered. We're hitting gravel patches and just beat up roads. So hopefully that improves, but I bet it'll get worse. But we're gonna find out. There's a turn in 240 miles. I gotta take a look at it and see if there's a town there. That's where we'll get gas, at 204 miles. If there's a gas station. I really hope this guy makes it, but man, this trailer is sketchy. That tail end is leaning really hard to the right. Oh my gosh, the whole truck is leaning. Ah, that is sketchy. We gotta get away from him. Come on, buddy. I hope you make it to wherever it is you're going, but that is sketchy. Well, things you see on the Alaskan highway. You could say that the road got a lot worse, and I have a feeling it's gonna even get worse than this. We passed Whitehorse about an hour ago, just blazing along. We're almost to Alaska, almost there. Now, it's just a fight against the clock. Some of these gas stations close at night, so we're gonna drive until we can't get gas. That's pretty much what's gonna be the stopping point. All right, well, we got gassed up again. I wanna show you guys this place. It's pretty cool. Look at those mountains. Still got snow on them and everything, but I still got 11 hours and 11 minutes to Anchorage. So I'm gonna get back on the road and try and whittle that time down even more. Only 600 miles left. I'm cruising pretty good. 3 tanks of gas left. This is just rinse and repeat. We might get fuel right on the border. All right, that's where we're heading. 3 hours and 27 minutes. And we'll be right on the border of Alaska. That's awesome. 181 miles. Okay. In case you can't tell, that's gravel and dirt road. Then from pavement to that. It's not terrible, but there's better roads out there for sure. And considering how many people are driving on it, this is nuts. Can't wait to be back in America. I guess I was right when I said I think the roads are gonna get worse, but I hope they don't get any worse than this, because this is bad. I prefer the gravel roads over this any day. Well, we have made it to the last town before the Alaska-Canadian border, Beaver Creek. Then we're gonna just cross the border. I think I'm going over to this other gas station because there doesn't appear to be anybody here. And I don't know how to use their pumps. These guys appear to be open. Hopefully, the border crossing goes a little bit easier than coming into Canada. Oh, maybe you just pump your own gas. That might be the case. I'm gonna go get fueled up and we'll get back on the road. All right, that was our last time fueling up in Canada. Had to get me some Victory chocolate milk. I think we got like 19 miles till we cross the border. Back into America, baby. I'm ready for gallons and miles per hour and all that fun stuff. It says if we drive through the night that we'll be there by 3:12 a.m. I'm not driving through the night. I'm probably gonna drive for another 4 hours and call it quits. I'm tired, so maybe one more fuel up, one more gas station. This has been a long trip, but we've made good time. We only have 7 hours and 40 minutes of driving left. We started out with 29, but we really started out with like 36. We're making good time. I'll let you know how the border crossing goes. 30 kilometers. My truck's a disaster. I hope they don't search me. It's a disaster. Look at this mess. Camera equipment and blankets and stuff everywhere. Here's the question I have. Does the United States take better care of their roads, or does Canada? We're about to find out. If these roads go from really crappy to really nice, that would be amazing. I'm willing to bet they're gonna maintain the same level of crappiness. And I'm also willing to bet that there's gonna be a ton of moose on the road come dark. Which it's already 8:30 and the sun is still way high. Holy crap. Sunset isn't until 10:09? Woo! We are far north. I've never been this far north in my life. And I've never been to Canada, and I've never been to Alaska. Well, I'm checking all of those off the block right now. I can't believe how high that sun is. I feel so weird right now. Oh my gosh! They just sneak up on you. Oh, I don't know if this is normal, but I feel like I should be going to bed. My body says, hey, you're worn out, you need to go to bed. My mind is like looking out there like, it's like noon, the sun is midair. This is so weird. I didn't check to see if the border crossing was still open. I figured on this busy of a road, it's open 24/7, but I guess I should have checked, especially with the mishap of getting into Canada. Hours of operation, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I need to be at Williams Lake at 9 o'clock in the morning, and they don't open till 9, and I'm still 5 hours away from Williams Lake. So I gotta go back into cell service and see if there's another way to get across the border. But we're about to find out. I haven't seen any cars going down this road, which is a really bad sign. Please be open, fingers crossed, please. Everybody always tells me, oh, getting into Mexico's easy. It's just getting back that's the hard part. That is not my experience at all. Getting into those countries is always where I have problems. I had problems getting into Canada, but coming into the US, the guy's like, hey, where are you coming from? Where are you going? Oh, cool. Any alcohol or drugs or guns? Nope. All right, come on in. 2 minutes and I'm in. We're back in the United States. To be determined on the road. So far, it seems slightly better. I don't see big old potholes, but we've got some dips that we got going on. But there's not, like I said, there's not these big, massive, nasty potholes. And that's 405 miles to Anchorage. Yes! We're back to miles. 2 tanks of gas and we'll be in Anchorage. Beautiful. We still got an hour till sunset, so if that means anything. Okay. That was a bridge. Holy cow. I'm glad I fixed all those straps because we'd be doomed. All right, I gotta find a gas station within 200 miles. Well, first time fueling up back in the States, only needed 9 gallons. I'm filling it. I'm ready to sleep. But I want to get some more miles underneath me before I go to sleep. 317 miles left. Let's see, let's find a gas station. Let's get halfway there. Let's go right there. Eureka Lodge gas station. 3 hours and 26 minutes. 1:30. Okay, that's the goal right there. Because we can fuel up there and not have to fuel up ever again. So we're gonna get on the road. If I get to the point where I can't stay awake, I'm pulling off to the side of the road and calling it quits. But hopefully I can make it all the way there. So it looks like the Alaska Highway, we're saying goodbye to the Alaska Highway because that goes to Fairbank and we want Anchorage. I am tired. I am burnt out. I am done with driving. I've had it. I was so tired last night, I don't even know if I let you guys know what happened. So we pulled into a gas station last night and just went to bed. I was so beat. Oh, but we slept in the truck again. I'm sick of that too. Don't get really good sleep. But we're only 3 hours out of Anchorage. So we've got to fuel up one last time. Then we're going to drive to Anchorage, pick up my wife from the airport, drive to Sterling, and sleep in a real bed. I can't wait. On the dot. Doesn't get much better than that. Anchorage, here we come. That's the big marker right there. Never been there. All right, we'll see you in Anchorage. So if I were to rate the roads here versus the roads in Canada, it's 6s. They're equal. Because here's the problem, right? The United States has longer stretches of nice, good road with fewer bumps, but they don't mark the bumps. So you'll be cruising along doing the speed limit, and all of a sudden you'll hit a big old bump, and your tires will come off the ground, and it's just nuts. So they at least mark them in Canada, like that right there, big bump. Not marked. You just got to keep your eye open for it and hope that you don't jump your vehicle. I'm lucky all of my gear has stayed in the vehicle. Only 3 hours to go. I think we're getting close to the coast in this beautiful area. All right, well, we're 10 miles out of Anchorage. I think the first order of business is finding a shower. It's been about 3 days since I've showered, and I need a shower. So I think I'm just gonna go pay for a gym membership and get a shower really quick. I also need to go onto the military base and get my government ID. So I think that'll be order number 2. And then I need to get some fishing equipment. Maybe the military base will have it. It should be a pretty big base, so we will see. Well, after 3 days of not showering, that felt great. Now I got some other tasks to run before Bailey gets into town. I'll be right back. All right, well, I got in pretty late last night. Had to get up early because we were gonna start some more adventures, including salmon fishing. That was one of the most beautiful drives I've ever been on, and it was by far the longest drive I've ever been on. I think in total, I drove over 3,600 miles. It was quite the adventure. Oh, and I spent about $2 grand in fuel. This thing is a gas hog. It did well though. It got me here. I gotta go drop it off at a friend's house. Thanks for watching. That's 2,237 kilometers for you Canadians or Brits. I think Australians, you use kilometers too, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.